I just loaded amp captures on my Valeton GP5 and honestly, the tones are shockingly close to real tube amps worth thousands. Today I'm sharing the 6 best free full rig captures that work perfectly with this little guy, and I'll demo 3 of them in real songs I just wrote. Let's go. Very quickly, what is an amp? Go! A neural amp modeler basically captures the real behavior of an amp and cab. It's not a simulation, it just reacts the same way the real amp responds to your guitar. And the GP5 just can load about 80 of these full rig captures. Full rig just means the amp cab and microphones are already baked in. That's exactly how the GP5 just likes to work. No IRs, no tweaking, just load and play. NAMM sounds best through full range system, FR speakers, good headphones or your audio interface. And just because the cabinet is just baked into the capture, you just can't turn it off. So if you just run an amp full rig into a real guitar amp, it becomes cabin to cab. And that usually sounds muddy or dark, so full range is just the way. The GP5 already comes with around 50 NAMM profiles, and many of them just sound great, but NAMM is a community driven, and there are thousands of captures out there, rare amps, boutique rigs, different cabinets, different mics techniques, so I just wanted to explore beyond the built-in ones. Now something you might notice when loading the NAMM profiles, some free NAMM captures load in very quiet, and that's perfectly normal because people just capture at very different levels to give you just plenty of headroom. The fix is very simple. You just turn up the volume of the amp, and if that is not enough, you can just boost the preset volume too. So I tested over 50 full rig captures across forums, Tone 3000 and Discord on different guitars, monitors and headphones. So if I captured the sound on muddy, harsh, noisy or just didn't balance well inside the GP5, I tossed it. And besides the 6 NAMM files, I'm also giving you 3 GP5 presets that I built using those captures. These are the exact tones you're just going to hear in the demos, with delays, boosts, reverbs, everything just already dialed in. Just an important thing here, just to make the presets work instantly, you need to import the NAMM captures first and place each one in the exact slot number I used. So the PDF in the download just shows all the slot numbers. And don't worry, because if you have that slot busy, you can place it in some other slots, but remember, if you do that, when you load the presets, you must go to the snapshot setting and manually select the amp on the new slots where you saved it. This preset is just included in the download pack. So I have here the preset with an amp file, then I'm using of course a noise reduction, then I have a compressor again of course, and then I have the distortion. This distortion is the rat. Paul Gilmore is using the rat sometimes, and of course using a reverb just a little bit on the mix, so I have a little bit of more ambient. On the pedal I just can switch off and on the rat. So now off. So let's just hear how it sounds in context. On this snap tone we have the Marshall JCM 800 from 1959, all at 50%. I just like the sound as it is. We can tweak a little bit just to see how it sounds. So I can just go with the gain at the minimum, like 10. I can go to the maximum, 100%. Then the noise reduction just a bit, so we have to use it almost always with high gain amps. And of course I'm using a little bit of reverb. For rhythms I'm just using this, but if I press the foot switch on the GP5, I'm adding a bunch of pedals, because to lead I'm adding a boost, a delay just for a little bit of slapback, and on the distortion I'm using the SD1 inspired by. So it just screams a little bit more. That's it. Okay, so let's hear this in context. Okay, so here the amp, I have a Mesa Boogie Mark IV. I just prefer this one because it's a little bit more tighter than the dual rectifier. So here, of course, I have a noise reduction. On the pre, I have a compressor with a little bit of a sustain and a reverb. It's an air one. It's just the first one that it comes to mind. And this is the tone. But if you want to hear without the pedals, just to listen the amp alone, I can show you. I'm just gonna put a little bit more, but if you just turn the gain that much down, you have to turn up the volume up. And at 100. Okay, so with all of the pedals, just gets a little bit more tighter. Then I'm just adding the distortion, Super OD, again SD1, the Boss SD1, and a little bit of delay just to get a little bit of slapback and more ambient, just for soloing. If you want a solo, you have this option as well. Of course, this preset is also on the pack. Let's hear this in context. So if you just enjoyed this kind of content, just hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next tones. The best place to find captures right now is the Thomann3000.com. You can just browse by amp type, creator or tags, sort by most downloaded, and remember, the GP5 only loads full rig captures with amp cap and mic already baked in. When you're choosing captures, you just look for the ones that list the cabinet, the speakers, the mic type and the mic placement. Mic techniques is half the tone. The best captures use typically studio setups like the SM57, the R121, Mesa OS caps, Marshall 9060, the classics basically. Please just avoid room mic captures. closed mic captures translate way better on the GP5. You might notice that 1 or 2 captures in my list that doesn't look amazing on paper, but I just kept them because they were balanced, clean and very natural sounding. Alright, so here's the full pack, 6 amps, 6 genres, rapid fire. So to load everything correctly, you just import the NAMM captures first and put each one in the exact slot number shown in the PDF. Once the NAMMs are in the right slots, import the presets and they will sound just perfect instantly. So the full pack is available on Gunroad as a pay what you want download. You can just simply enter 0 to get it for free or drop a small tip if you'd like to support the channel. Either way, the tones are yours. Which one was your favorite? So let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, download the pack, and I'll see you in the next one.